guys, and welcome back to my channel. We are going to do another bookshelf scavenger hunt in order to pick our next read, because I'm feeling a little bit slumpy, haven't really been reading much over the last couple of days, and I just need something to pick a book for me, because there's so many books on my physical TBR, as you guys well know by now, and it is getting a little bit overwhelming, so I'm finding it hard to sort of find what I'm in the mood for and stuff, because I need to narrow it down. So I thought to myself, if we use 10 prompts and go through the books on my shelves, and then it will lead us to a book, and we're going to be reading that book in this video as a mini reading vlog as well. So I actually have the prompts written down on my phone, so I've actually mixed some of the prompts from the first bookshelf scavenger hunt and added some new ones in, but they are not my original ideas whatsoever, because I don't have the creative thing in my brain to be doing that. So I've taken some from Ellen's most recent bookshelf scavenger hunt, because she got the idea from Riley, and her Patreon and her book club came up with a lot of these ideas as well. So thank you guys if you are part of her book club for doing that. But we have great new prompts, so a little bit different from last time, switching it up a little bit. I'm going to go through them today. So the first one is choose a book cover that you love and find a book with a similar cover. So every time I think about covers that I love, Emily Henry instantly comes to mind. Not necessarily sure why, but I think it's just the bright colours, the fact that it's cartoon, so they're quite simple, but also says a lot about the book at the same time. Let me just get one for you. So Book Lovers by Emily Henry is my favourite book by her, but I read this back in 2022, literally fully annotated it and read it in one sitting, so love the book anyway. But aside from the content in the book, the cover is just so cute, and it's got all the bright colours, the letters take up like a lot of the cover, and it also has like the beachy kind of background to it. So the prompt obviously says to find a book cover that you love, which is this one, and find a similar cover to it. So I'm going to scour my shelves now and see if I've got any similar covers to the aspects on here. This is definitely an option. You've got the big letters, the beachy vibe, but I think I don't love this cover as much as another one that I'm gonna look at. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go for Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. So this one has the big bold letters straight across, the author name at the top, the beachy vibes, and the little mini characters at the bottom as well. So that is quite similar to Book Lovers, so I'm definitely going to go for this. Turn to page 50 and find a book that has one of the words on that page in the title or on the cover. So I need to turn to page 50 of this. Oh, God's sake. Okay, so on page 50 of this book, it literally has like text messages, is it? I can't remember. So this is page 50. So the word that I'm going to go for is made, because I think I've got some books. Obviously Justin I can't use. I ideally wanted to use the first word on the page, but because it's a name, I won't have any book titles with Justin in it. So I'm going to go for the second word, which is made. So I think I can make that work. So here I have Made in Manhattan by Lauren Lane. Obviously it has the word made in it. I knew I had one somewhere. When I saw that the first obviously word was Justin, I was sitting there thinking to myself, what am I going to do? Like, I obviously can't use the name. However, I knew that I had made somewhere. I was like, I know that I've got a book name with made in it. What one is it? And obviously it's Made in Manhattan. So I will be using that one for our next prompt, which is list some of the tropes of that book and find another book with similar tropes. Well, I haven't read this book, so I don't necessarily know the tropes as well as I should. But from the premise of this book and stuff like that, it is basically about a sort of like rural guy who doesn't really like city life, and a city girl who's very successful and stuff like that, and they end up having to... what do? They work together? A friend of her beloved grandmother asks Violet to teach her newly discovered grandson how to fit into the city's elite. Violet immediately agrees. So it's kind of like an opposites attract, because he doesn't fit in with the city life, but her grandma asks her to help him. So it's opposites attract is like the main thing I'm getting from this. What are we gonna do? So last time that I did a scavenger hunt, I tried my best to only use books that are on my physical TBR, even when we were just going through the prompts. And then I watched Ellen's one the other day. She was just using books that she'd read ages ago, and even ones that she didn't like. So I'm thinking, what opposite attract romances have I read? And I recently read one, which is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This book is about Rowan and Zara, and Rowan actually owns a theme park, or he partly owns it with his brothers, and Zara works there. She doesn't necessarily come from like a poor background, but obviously he's like a multi-billion millionaire, whatever it is. So it is that kind of opposites attract kind of trope, and you see that quite presently throughout this book. So the next one is find a book with the opposite tropes from your current book. So we have rich billionaire, opposites attract. So we need opposite things to that. So maybe some people on the same level with the same kind of like mindset and drive and stuff. I have some books in mind actually. So obviously we had to find a book that was the opposite tropes. So I've decided to randomly go for Ignite Me because obviously it was opposites attract that we were like mainly focusing on. And this one I feel like Juliet and Aaron, my literally loves of my life, have a very similar work ethic. They have the same sort of level of things. I don't necessarily know if that's correct or anything, but I don't know. And it's also an opposite genre, so any trope that would be potentially in a romance book might be slightly different in this. So I'm going for this one. That might be like a stretch, but here we are. So I now need to reverse the page number of this book and find a book with a similar amount of pages. So I need to go to the amount of pages that's in this book, which is 408, and then reverse that to 804 and find a book with that amount of pages in it, or similar as I can. So I already know that I'm going straight to the Boys of Tommen series because I know they're around the 800 page mark. Binding 13's 801, so I'm going to see if Keeping 13 is longer, because from what I can remember it's slightly longer by a few pages. Keeping 13's 802, which is obviously closer to 804, so I'm going to go for this because I don't think we've got any that are exactly 804 pages, but I think Keeping 13 is the only one that I've got sort of like on that level because she's huge, she's thick. So the next prompt is to find a book with the similar colour scheme to our current book. So I need a yellow book, maybe with hints of red or something like that. But I don't own that many yellow books. There's a couple that I can see over there. So I'm going to run over there and just see, because I think I know what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for Still Unwritten by Caroline Corey, and I feel like it is a very similar cover to this, not in necessarily elements wise but colour scheme wise. Obviously on Keeping 13 we have the big red heart in the middle and the orangey yellow kind of front cover, and on Still Unwritten we don't necessarily have anything red, but we do have a massive pink writing, so I feel like that does represent the red heart in some kind of way. Like this is as similar as we're going to get it. I don't think I have anything more similar than that. I mean, it's not too bad. I don't think that's actually as bad of a match as I'm making it out to be. So our next prompt is to find a book that was published in the same year as this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go onto Goodreads. Oh, this came out this year. This came out on the 1st of February 2024. So I just need a new release, which is so much easier. That is literally so much easier because I know exactly what's come out this year. So down here I still have some of the books from my most recent unboxing, and I already know that Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver came out this year, so I'm gonna go for that because it literally came out like in the matter of the last like month or two. So Wild Eyes. So our next prompt is to find a book with the same amount of words in the titles. So obviously it's just a 2-word title this time, which is Wild Eyes. So I just need a 2-word titled book. I feel like I've got a few options for this. I can literally see one on my shelf over there. Okay, this should be fine. So I have One Day, I have Hate Mail, I have Still Unwritten again, I have Everything Everything, I have The Roommate, I have Dream On, The Visa. I think though I'm going to go for Hate Mail because this one is on my physical TBR and I haven't read it yet, so it should be a good one to choose. Also the cover is so cute, so bonus points. Find a book that's title or author's name starts with the first letter of this book. So the first letter is H, so I need to find ideally a book name beginning with H, and then that's what book we're going to be reading. That's the final prompt. Perfect. Have I got anything beginning with H? Let's have a look. This is really where I wish that I put my books in alphabetical order. I don't think I've got any. I haven't seen a book beginning with H. I'm probably looking straight at one. You guys are probably screaming at me going, Ella, it's right there. I can't see it. I have Heartless by Elsie Silver, but I've already read that. Oh my god. We have one. I have Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. I completely forgot that I had it because I've recently unboxed it. I literally just didn't even think about it. So that is the book that we are going to be reading in today's video. So obviously we have chosen this book, and I just wanted to give a little bit of backstory because this will only be my second Catherine Center book that I've ever read, and I'm not actually too sure if you need to read something else before this. I read The Bodyguard when I went to Lanzarote on holiday and thoroughly enjoyed it. Literally ate it up within like 2 days. So I've been meaning to delve back into Catherine Center's writing, but I just haven't had any of her books on my physical TBR. However, in my most recent unboxing video, I unboxed this book, and it was actually sent to me by Amelia, who is a lovely girl over on Bookstagram. Her @ is Amelia J Reads, and she said, I just wanted to say that I'm so proud of you, and I hope for once Amazon actually give you this note. I just wanted to say you inspire me not to give up on my channel. Thank you, from Amelia. Thank you so much again to Amelia for this. Obviously I did say it in my unboxing, but I just wanted to put that out there as well. But this is our read for today's video. Now, I do need to currently actually finish another book for another video, and then this weekend I'm going to delve into this book, so I will see you then. Say hi. So, I have made a start to Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. I'm currently on chapter 5, which is page 50. I feel like 50-page mark is always a good point to give sort of like a first impression, because you don't get too much into the story, but you're into it enough that you know sort of like a backstory and the plot is sort of set up a little bit. There's a couple of little things that I'm already wondering if they're going to be towards the end of the book and stuff, because it is fairly short. Like, I could literally read this today if I wanted to. But basically, if you're not sure, this book is about a portrait artist called Sadie, and her dad is a famous, I think it's like cardiovascular surgeon, and he doesn't support the fact that she wanted to do art with her life and stuff like that. So she's living in like a little shack, not telling her like rich dad that she's not really thriving in life, and just basically saying that she's got it all figured out when she doesn't. And she's entered like a million competitions in order to win prize money and stuff, and also just to put her artwork out there, but she hasn't really won anything, hasn't really got anything from them. But she is now a finalist in like one of the most prestigious art contests, and then that is until one day she walks into like a grocery store, like a shop, gets some stuff, but she forgets her purse at home, and then she meets a guy who offers to pay for it, and then literally on the way back she has a seizure. She has like a weird thing in her brain that made her have like a convulsive seizure, which is basically where you don't shake, you just sort of drop to the ground. And they obviously discover that she's got something in her brain that's hereditary. Yeah, so that is where I'm at the book at the moment. There was a scene in like an elevator lift thing that has just randomly been brushed over in the first 50 pages, and I really want to know if that comes about again, because it was just such a weird thing to throw in there. She was in a lift with someone, and he was on the phone to like his mate or whatever, and he was like talking about this woman that he had a one-night stand with and how like fat and ugly she was, and like posting pictures of her online without her consent, and like it just hasn't been mentioned again for a while, and that was literally like a good few chapters ago. So I was like, what's going on? What is, like, why put that in if it's not important? Like, I hope that that gets spoken about again, because what the hell. However, it does say on the back of the book, as she struggles to hang on to her artistic dream, work through major family issues, and take care of her beloved dog Peanut, she falls in love with not one man, but two. The timing couldn't have been worse, because basically the aftermath of the brain surgery that she had to have, she got this condition. I can't remember what the condition's called now. It is called acquired apperceptive prosopagnosia, which is also known as face blindness. So basically she's looking at someone's face that she can fully recognise the person, but their facial features are like contorted and they're just not in the right place, so she can't like place them in her mind. And that's just crazy. Like, imagine growing up your whole life knowing these people and just not being able to recognise them. Like, her best friend came to hospital and she just didn't understand like who she was and stuff like that until she started talking. She was like, who is this person? But, and again, as I said, she's a portrait artist. She literally has entered a competition where she needs to paint a portrait and she can't understand faces. It's crazy. And then she just looked in the mirror and she was like, that's not me. That's not me, girl. And it's just getting really confusing for her, but that's where I'm at the moment. It set up the story enough that I sort of have an idea of what's going on. I hope that the man who paid for her groceries when the grocery store comes back, I don't know. I feel like because you find out about the like horrible dad thing straight away, I do tend to love that in books where there's like that slight, not necessarily character trauma, but when there's like a bad parental relationship and then things happen and then they prove the parent wrong. Like, I hope that that is a main part of this book. But I think I'm just going to sit for the rest of the day and hopefully finish this book. If not, hopefully we'll be finishing it by tomorrow, because as I said, it's literally like 300 pages, so shouldn't be too long of one. And I just love her writing so much. It's just such an easy flowing read, just the way it's written. She speaks in such lyrical, nice language that you just want to annotate and highlight everything, but it's also so simple to understand at the same time. Like, it's just like how I'm speaking to you now, just waffling away, but in such a concise way that she only needs to say what she has to say, but she does it in a way that's natural and nice, and that is just so good. And this is only my second Catherine Centre book, so I'm hoping that it just carries on being this good, because it's so good so far. I've literally just started chapter 5, and I said how she was in the lift with someone, and I was like, I hope that gets mentioned again. It's literally on the first line of chapter 5, so I will hopefully get some answers now. So I have got to over 100 pages into the book now, but I'm about to run downstairs and have some dinner because we have a roast, because it's a cozy Sunday, and I'm literally just going to settle down for the rest of the night and read. Not too sure if I'm going to be able to finish the entire book today, simply because me and Riley do want to watch Criminal Minds later, because priorities, am I right? But I have still reached the 200 page mark, which is good. There is like a little subplot of romance happening right now as well, which I'm really excited about, because I have been looking forward to that. I think the book actually is marketed towards us as a fiction, not necessarily a romance, and I feel like Catherine Centre's books are just naturally like that anyway. The subplot of romance is very much there at the moment. Nothing too crazy has happened yet, but I can't wait and I'm so excited. But I'm going to head downstairs for my roast, because I've been craving it all day and I'm starving. And then I will update you when I've got an update after. Also, that ponytail was the third hairstyle of this video so far, so yeah, you're welcome. It is the next day and I'm currently in my local Starbucks car park, because I'm going to go for a little Starbies. It wasn't in the plans, but I'm going to treat myself. I've had a very long week and it's only Monday, so I thought, why not go out, have some Starbucks, read some of my book. So I thought that would be a very nice idea. I'm going to head in there now. I'm really fancying a matcha, but then part of me thinks, do I get something off of the like autumn fall menu? I don't know. I think I'm just going to stick to my normal matcha, or maybe just a frappe. I don't know what I'm feeling. I have no idea. I'm just going to decide. And I don't order it at the counter because of anxiety. So I'm going to go and sit down and browse the app and just see what I want. There's no way I'm ordering it at the counter. Absolutely not. So I'm going to head in and read some more of Hello Stranger. Didn't really read too much of it last night. There wasn't really much of an update because me and Riley decided to finish season 7 of Criminal Minds. And it's the first time we're watching it. So we were locked in and invested, so we decided to do that instead. But I'm gonna head to Starbucks, I'm already there, but you know what I mean, and get a drink. Come with me.
Do you know what? I never used to have whipped cream in my matcha before, but it is so good.
So literally just sitting in traffic as we speak, which is why I've got my camera out. But I just have a little theory about the book. So she's fallen in love with falling in love is a stretch, but you know what I mean, with two guys right now. But she actually can't officially see their faces due to her condition. And I have like this instant gut feeling that they're the same person, even though they do give off different vibes. One of them's professional, you know, put together, a qualified vet, and one of them is just someone that they assumed was a male stripper who lives in her building. So I don't know, but I'm just gonna see how it goes. I'm feeling that they're the same person, but it literally, I could be so wrong. But that's my thing. I'm approaching a roundabout, so I've got to go. Oh my goodness. Hey guys, new hair, new me. Just kidding, it's a wig. Me and my mum have been trying on Shein wigs because I don't do drugs, so I spend my money on wigs apparently instead. But when you actually look at the colour, I don't hate it. Very Sarah Caroli, very Willa from Heartless. Don't hate it. And now it's making me want to cut layers. I think, colour aside, I think I like this style. Oh god. You can't even see me. What is the point? That's better. Okay, so I have just got to the point of this book. I'm currently on chapter 21 and literally my whole life is falling out of it. What's going on? But I feel like I've just got to a very pivotal moment of it when I'm just about to find out certain things that are going to happen and stuff like that. I have like just about 100 pages left, which normally in a book, obviously that seems to be the time when everything happens, and there's a lot in this book. Considering it's only like a 300-page rom-com-y kind of like fictional romance, there's a lot to unpack here. We still have to unpack her weird parental relationship with her dad, her stepmom, that relationship, her stepsister, the two guys that she's supposedly in love with, and it's just crazy. Like, there's so much going on. And the fact that she's got that face blindness and is yet to finish her portrait, and it's like 2 days before the deadline. So like, what's going on? I think the one thing that I'm most intrigued about is finding out about the guys and like which one she ends up with, because who's this? Like, hello sir. Although I am still very for the theory that they are the same person. When I find out, I'm not going to confirm or deny that theory in this video because that would be a spoiler, but that is where my thought process went almost straight away. And if it is true, I'm going to kind of get a little bit annoyed because it's almost predictable. I think I am just going to binge literally the rest of this book in one go, so I'm so excited. I need to know what happens, and this video goes up this weekend, so we need to get a move on. We have just had like a little third act breakup moment. What's going on? I finished the book and I have found out every single minuscule detail that I was curious about. I even found out about the lift guy that I spoke to you about on like day one of reading this book on Sunday. When I spoke about the guy that was a little bit dodgy in the lift, we found out. And I'm not going to say what happened, but it's fine. It's fine. I found out my theory about the two guys. I feel like I can't review this book because I literally can't say what I need to say in order to functionally do a review. I'm going to rate this book a 4.75 star. There is one minuscule detail that has brought my rating down like a quarter of a star, and that being, it's just a little bit predictable. And like, I don't even mean that in a sense of, how am I going to put this into words? I just feel like a little bit more of an element of surprise would have been nice, especially with the two guys as well. There's the vet guy and the guy from the building. The vet guy we barely saw, so like a little bit more of him would have been great, but obviously it's very hard because he has a busy life and stuff like that. I don't know, I would have liked to have seen more of her and the vet side of things and that guy. But I really did come to love the guy from the building as well. Me trying not to spoil this book. I really enjoyed this book. The lyrical writing, the storytelling, the way that it was structured was very, very interesting. The fact that right up until like the last 100 pages, you had no idea what was going on with the story. Even the last 50, there were still things thrown in there that you just wouldn't have guessed. Riley's TV's changing colour and it's stressing me out. I did say previously when I did a little clip on Sunday that Catherine Center's writing is very lyrical, it's very beautiful, it's everything that you want to say, but in such a concise, put together way that you want to sit and annotate it, you want to capture it, you want to read it, but it's also written in such a casual way that you don't need to think too hard when you're reading it, if that makes sense. And I'm desperate to get my hands on her other books as well. I think I've got one on my wish list, but I couldn't find the rest of them on Amazon. So like, what's going on with that? I have no idea. But I did very much enjoy this book. I really like The Bodyguard as well. I think I rated that a 4.75. So we are standing at a very good point in Catherine Center's books right now. This is my second one of the year, and they have both been 4.75. So that is incredible. But that is everything for today's video. We done our scavenger hunt, we got led to this book, and I have now read this book. But I love you guys lots. Thank you so much for watching. If you do want more of these, then definitely let me know, because they are so fun to film and I love doing them, and they're so easy as well. But if you did enjoy it, then give it a thumbs up, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye!